There was a time in my early 30s when everything looked fine on the outside, but inside, I was falling apart. I was trying to be strong for everyone, juggling work, bills, and family expectations, smiling through the pressure. But the truth, I was exhausted. Spiritually, emotionally, physically completely worn down. One night, after holding it in far too long, I sat alone in the dark and whispered through tears, "God, I can't do this anymore." I wasn't angry, I was just done. My strength had run dry, and it was in that raw, broken moment that I heard something deep within my spirit. Not a loud voice, not a dramatic sign, just a still, quiet whisper from God, "You don't have to. The battle is not yours, it's mine." Those words changed everything. I didn't need to carry it all anymore. I didn't need to have every answer. I simply needed to surrender, not give up, but give it to the one who never grows weary. That moment didn't solve every problem instantly, but it gave me peace. It gave me space to breathe again. And friend, maybe you're in that place right now. Maybe you're tired of pretending you've got it all together. Maybe your soul is whispering what your mouth can't say. If that's you, know this: God sees you, He's near, and He's ready to carry what you can't. You don't have to fight alone. The battle belongs to Him, and He's already working on your behalf, even now. There's a verse in scripture that has carried me through some of the hardest days of my life. To Chronicles 20:15, "The battle is not yours, but God's." These words were spoken to King Jehoshaphat when he was surrounded by an army too vast to defeat. He had every reason to panic, but instead, God told him to be still, to stand firm, and to trust that the battle already belonged to the Lord. And friend, isn't that us too? We may not be facing armies, but we face battles every day: emotional exhaustion, strained relationships, financial pressure, health scares, spiritual attacks. Life throws a lot at us, and it's easy to feel like we're drowning under the weight of it all. But here's the truth: you were never meant to carry it all on your own. That's not weakness, it's wisdom. Letting go isn't giving up, it's handing the burden over to the one who is actually equipped to handle it. God doesn't expect you to have it all figured out. He invites you to trust Him with what feels impossible. So today, take a breath, take a step back, and remember this: battle you're fighting, it's not all on you. Let God take it. He's already working, already moving, and already making a way. Lay it down at His feet, and watch how peace begins to rise. Watch how His strength begins to replace your fear. Will you let Him fight for you today? Let's be honest, life gets heavy. There are seasons when you feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Maybe you've been trying to fix everything, hold everyone together, keep the pieces from falling apart. But deep down, you know you're tired. You weren't created to carry it all. That's not weakness. That's reality. God never asked you to handle every burden alone. In fact, He invites you to lay them down. Matthew 11:28 says, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." That's not a suggestion, it's a promise. But it takes faith to let go. It takes courage to say, "God, I trust you with this." When we surrender, we're not giving up, we're giving it up to the only one who's strong enough to carry it, and He carries it with love. God isn't looking for perfection. He's looking for honesty. And when we come to Him, even in our most broken places, He meets us with mercy and strength. So today, take your battles, your stress, your worries, hand them over. Say it out loud if you need to. "God, I give this to you." Then take a deep breath and let His peace begin to do what your striving never could. Let His presence quiet your thoughts, and let His arms carry what's been too heavy for too long. You are not alone in this. When life gets chaotic, it's easy to forget that God is still near. We start to believe the lie that we're alone in the storm, that it's all on us to figure things out. But friend, God hears you. Right now, in the middle of your pain, your silence, your sighs, He is listening. Psalm 34:17 says, "The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears them. He delivers them from all their troubles." That's not just a nice verse, it's a truth you can cling to. You don't have to scream to get His attention. A whisper from a weary heart is loud enough for heaven. Sometimes we want answers, we want change, we want breakthrough. But before any of that comes, God offers something even deeper: His presence, His peace. He reminds us that He's not a distant God watching from afar. He's Emmanuel, God with us. So today, pause. Even if just for a moment, Let your soul exhale. Let your heart settle into the truth that God is closer than you think. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to pretend to be strong. You just have to be honest with Him. Cry out if you need to. He hears, and He's already working on your behalf. And even when you feel like your prayer is too small, too broken, or too late, He still listens. He still responds. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are deeply known and completely loved. There's a quiet kind of exhaustion that doesn't always show. It's not loud or dramatic, but it wears on you. It's the heaviness that lingers when you've been trying to stay strong for too long, smiling through the stress, showing up for others while silently wondering who's showing up for you. Maybe you've prayed and waited, believed and kept going, but somewhere along the way, you started to feel like your soul was running on fumes. If that's you, I want to remind you're not weak. You're human. And God never asked you to power through everything alone. Sometimes we don't need a miracle that changes everything in a moment. We need the quiet miracle of being reminded that God is still with us in the middle of it all. He sees the pressure you're under. He understands the weight on your chest. And He cares deeply. God doesn't just care about the big battles. He cares about the daily strain too. The nights you lie awake overthinking, the mornings you wake up already tired, the responsibilities that never seem to ease. He's present in all of it. In Isaiah 42:29, it says, He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. That's not just poetic, it's personal. He's offering strength where you have none left, hope when you feel numb, peace in the middle of the spinning. So before you move forward, take a moment, breathe, let go of the pressure to hold it all together. You don't need to have every answer. You don't need to fake a smile. You just need to rest in the truth that you are deeply known, entirely loved, and never alone. Let this be the moment where you pause not to quit, but to reset. You are not failing because you're tired. You're invited to find rest in the arms of a Father who already knows how much you've been carrying. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is surrender. To let go of control, to trust that God's will is better than our plans. But that's where real peace begins, not in getting what we want, but in trusting the one who knows what we truly need. Maybe you've been holding on so tightly, trying to force the outcome, fix the situation, or make sense of what doesn't seem fair. But the more we try to carry what wasn't meant for us, the more exhausted we become. God doesn't call us to carry the outcome. He calls us to carry faith. There's freedom in saying, Lord, I don't understand, but I still trust you. It's not easy. It requires faith that's bigger than our feelings. But when we surrender, we make space for God to move. We stop striving and start resting. We stop worrying and start worshiping. And here's the beautiful thing. God never wastes our surrender. He meets us in it. He takes what we lay down and turns it into something far greater than we imagined. Sometimes the breakthrough doesn't happen around us, it happens within us. So today, let this be your moment of release. Whatever you've been clinging to, fear, control, pressure, disappointment, lay it at His feet. Say it in your own words or just whisper, God, I give it all to you. Let surrender be your strength today. Let His grace carry what you were never meant to hold alone. There's something powerful that happens when we begin to hope again. When we stop rehearsing the worst case scenarios and start believing that maybe, just maybe, God still has something good ahead. It doesn't mean our situation magically changes overnight, but it does mean our hearts start to shift. Sometimes, hope feels risky. After all, what if we get disappointed again? What if nothing changes? But faith says, even if I've been disappointed before, I'll believe again. I'll open my heart again. I'll trust God again. Because the truth is, our God is a God of restoration. He brings beauty from ashes, joy from mourning, and peace where there was once chaos. If you're weary today, ask God to breathe new strength into your soul. Ask Him to fill you with fresh hope, not based on your circumstances, but rooted in His faithfulness. You don't have to wait until everything is perfect to believe again. You can start right here, right now. Say, God, restore my joy, renew my spirit, help me to hope again. Let that prayer be the seed of something new, something stronger than fear, deeper than pain. Let His hope rise within you, one breath at a time, and when it does, don't keep it to yourself. Be a voice of hope for someone else. Remind them, by the way you live and love, that God is still in the business of rebuilding what was broken, that He's not done writing your story, or there's When fear tries to grip your heart, when the unknown feels overwhelming, there is one truth that never changes. God is still in control. He hasn't stepped off his throne, he hasn't forgotten you, and he certainly hasn't left your side. Sometimes, life throws punches that knock the wind out of us. Unexpected diagnoses, sudden losses, financial struggles, or battles in our minds that no one else can see. But here's what I've learned. Fear may come knocking, but it doesn't get to move in. Not when you're rooted in God's promises. 2 Timothy 1-7 reminds us, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind." That means fear is not from him. So if it doesn't come from God, we don't have to accept it. Instead, we stand on his word. We speak his truth louder than the lies. We remind our hearts who we belong to. You are not helpless. You are not powerless. You are a child of the Most High God, and he fights for you. Even when fear whispers, "What if?" God declares, "I am." Even when anxiety rises, his peace goes deeper. You may feel overwhelmed, but you are not overcome. So today, stand tall. Even if your knees shake, stand on faith. Speak his name, declare his peace. And remember, no fear has the final word when God is in the room. In a world that constantly demands your attention, your energy, and your emotional bandwidth, it's easy to feel mentally drained. Your thoughts race, your peace fades, and before you know it, you are running on empty. That's why today, more than ever, we need a sound mind, a mind rooted in truth, not fear, a heart anchored in peace, not panic. God has promised us this kind of clarity. In Coríntios 14:33 says, "For God is not a God of confusion, but of peace." That means when our thoughts feel chaotic, we can run to the one who brings calm. When anxiety tries to hijack your focus, you can fight back with truth. You don't have to believe every thought that enters your mind. You have the authority to take your thoughts captive and align them with God's word. So instead of replaying fear, declare his promises. Instead of spiraling in worry, meditate on his faithfulness. Ask God today to renew your mind. Invite him into your thought life. Let his word be louder than the noise. Let his spirit bring order to the chaos. You were created for peace, not panic. For clarity, not confusion. And through Christ, you can walk today with a sound mind, steady and strong. And if your thoughts feel overwhelming right now, pause, breathe, whisper his name. Let his peace meet you in the middle of the noise. You're not losing your mind, you're being reminded of who holds it. If today's prayer touched your heart, don't keep it inside. Let it be your declaration of faith. I encourage you right now, in the comments write, "I surrender my burdens to you, Lord." It's more than a sentence. It's a moment of release, a step of trust. A bold reminder to your soul that you don't have to carry it all alone. You were never meant to walk through life without help. And the good news is you don't have to. God is ready, right now, to meet you in your surrender. He's not waiting for you to be perfect. He's waiting for you to be honest. And if this prayer encouraged you, come back tomorrow. Join us again. Let this space be your daily reset. A moment of peace, truth, and powerful connection with God. You're not alone in this journey, and every day, we'll keep walking together in faith. You might even share this prayer with someone else. You never know who's quietly carrying a heavy burden, praying for a sign, or longing to feel seen by God. A simple share could change someone's entire day. Before we go, let me speak a blessing over you. May God surround you with peace that surpasses understanding. May he lift every burden from your shoulders and fill your heart with renewed strength. Stay encouraged, my friend. And always remember, he will carry what you cannot. I'll meet you right here again tomorrow. Until then, keep trusting, keep surrendering, and stay in his peace.